Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect. It is Friday and we got the one, the only, the living legend. We got Saga 1 right here live on the line. How you doing this evening?
Hey, Sakbase, DJ Immortal was cracking. Toronto was cracking.
I gotta say first and foremost, man, I've been digging your music, man. You are the definition of what real hip-hop is, man. So it's just an honor to have you on my platform right now, man. So thank you so much for just giving us a bit of your time this evening.
Wow, I appreciate you, sir. I really do. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I gotta ask you, man, how's everything going on your end right now, man? Because unfortunately, 2020 was just a trailer of of 2021.
Word, yo, 2020 was like it was like a bust and everything, right? But regardless of what, I'm staying in the music and just keeping it up and just making sure everything is okay, regardless of what, Everything is straight though, we cool. Just maintaining, trying to at least,
Hey, I most definitely agree with the maintaining side of things, man. We're on a stay-at-home state of emergency order here in Ontario, so we're just trying to stay positive down here in the Great White North.
Yeah, most definitely, and listen to some dope music too on on your radio show on Outlaw Radio, right? Real talk. Word.
But I gotta ask you there, Saga, like taking you back to the beginning of your music career, man, like what actually inspired you to get into the music industry initially?
Oh, initially a whole host of things, man. But I want to say probably the day maybe the day I saw Dr. Ice. It was an MC by the name of Dr. Ice, old school MC. Dr. Ice from UTFO, a group called UTFO. There was a prominent rapper on my block that brought him through. A guy called Chub Rock or whatever. You know what I mean? When I saw the recognition and all of that, I kind of wanted to jump into it. I loved hip-hop after that. It was, like a key point in my life, seeing stuff like that. Can't even front too. My older brother really was the one that introduced me into hip-hop. My brother AC Reno, him playing records and DJing and us doing graffiti and practicing breakdancing in the basement at 12 a.m. You know what I mean? Word. So my pop started breaking, or breaking on us. You know what I'm saying? We turned the music down, but yeah. So hip hop was kind of like a cultural thing. You know what I mean? And something that we wanted to join in. Express ourselves, and things like that. Yeah.
And I have to ask you, man, did you ever have the opportunity to actually work with UTFO or anything like that?
Well, no, they were a little bit out of the game by the time I started to do my thing. I mean, I was much, much younger. I was probably about 6 years old when I saw Dr. Ice. But I did work with Chub Rock. I did work with people like around my era. Cats like, you remember Trigger the Gambler and Smooth the Hustler? Cats like that. My man DVLES Christ. My man Lord Digger. Just working with everybody in my circuit in Flatbush area. You know what I'm saying? Word.
And also, man, as well, I remember when we were texting back and forth there, actually, when we were setting up this interview, you actually told me that you actually did some work with Toronto, Ontario, Canada's own DJ TLO, man. I was wondering, how did yourself and TLO actually get connected?
Oh, man, that was through a mutual connection. His girlfriend at the time was in touch, good friend with my girlfriend, and we kind of linked up through that. And he gave me some beats, or we did some music together, jumped in the studio, and it's been tight ever since. Yeah, Tilo, that's my dog right there. You know what I mean? Shout out to my homie Tilo and everybody out there in Toronto. Word up.
And I have to ask you, man, did yourself and Tilo actually like get together and work in the studio in person, or was it just like kind of like over the internet? He does some beats, he sends them to you, and vice versa.
Well, first, we've never met over the internet. We were in person and everything. The music that he sent me was definitely over the internet, but of course, everybody sends music like that nowadays. But we went into the lab and we did some music, and it was pretty dope. Yeah, it's on my SoundCloud, as a matter of fact. It's a joint called Day After Day.
And I have to ask you as well, man. What did you think of Canada, just being in Toronto, man? Like, how did you like our country?
I love Toronto, man. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if that's the French place or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know that Montreal is, I guess, more French. I wanted to say say to everybody, you know. But yeah, I love TO, man. TO, that's a place. Love it to death, man. Right up.
Yeah, Toronto's more of the English side. Here in Ontario's more English. When you get it over to Quebec, that's when everything turns French. It's almost like you went over a little bridge and went into a different country completely, man. Like, it's completely different over in Quebec.
True indeed. Montreal, and yeah, true indeed.
And also as well, man, I actually noticed that you were actually a part of the Fiends project. I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about that, and of course, how did yourself and the other members actually get connected?
Oh, so the Fiends, that's including my brother AC Reno and my brother Bless, and the lovely solar sister and Tyler Thomas. We grew up together. We started doing music in the garage, literally. And Cypher Productions. Shout out to my brother Mike Spice also, and my brother DJ Smoke Dog. I think you're about to interview DJ Smoke Dog later on, right?
I don't no. I actually we're in talks right now of actually airing one of his shows, but I have to hear his content first before I make any decisions, right? But so far so good, man. Our conversations are going pretty smoothly.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, we linked up and we started doing music. We created this album called the Fiends Project. It actually got some dope reviews, man. And some people are like, we sampled from Roy Ayers called Searching. And yeah, he actually gave us props for it. The actual artist, Roy Ayers, said he liked it. And he said it was probably one of the best samples that he's heard in his time. So yeah, we linked up and we started doing a bunch of music, and we're still doing music to this day. My brother AC Reno and my brother Bless, Tyler Thomas, and my brother Bless actually has an album right now called The Art of Humanity. It's dope too. And yeah, we're just keeping it going.
And also, man, another group that I saw you were a part of as well is actually the Brooklyn Cyclones, man. I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about that, and of course, how did you two get connected?
Oh, Loki the Trickster is my brother from Park Slope, Brooklyn, of course, and we connected through the company that we kind of started all together in the garage called Cypher Productions, and yeah, we were cool. We did a couple of shows together in Buffalo. Shout out Baby Steps, shout out my brother Jim Browski. And yeah, we did a couple of shows out there in Buffalo, and yeah, made some work scope. So ever since then, him and I, this is one of my favorite MCs, Loki the Trickster. You gotta really get into his music too. Link him up. It's pretty dope. But yeah, we linked up and we decided, hey man, let's put out an album, let's make it work. I got a couple of people that I'm working with that I have albums with. As a matter of fact, there's a girl out here in LA. Right now, I'm out here in LA. I'm working with an artist by the name of Kyla Briscoe. She's pretty dope also. Kyla Briscoe is the sister of a dope MC that was part of the Dog Pound, but since passed away. Rest in peace to the brother Badass. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm working with his sister, and we got some dope music. And we're actually working on an album right now called Catharsis. So, along the way, I just kind of linked up with a bunch of dope artists, and we just decided, hey, man, let's make an album. Let's work. As long as we're here on the underground and we're free, because when you get out to above ground, you can't really do much, right? You're restricted, right? So, out here in the underground, we get to say what we want, do what we want, and put out dope music, and, make classics.
And also, man, speaking of a classic, in 2006, you actually dropped the album that actually went where I first discovered your craft, man. And it's called The Definition of the World, man. I was wondering, what's the story behind that phenomenal record? And of course, is it still available to be purchased today?
Word, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, The Definition of the World is definitely available. It's on all platforms. What started that was the album before that, which was called Shiloh. And again, with my crew, Cypher Productions, we just created a bunch of music and just started putting it out. Definition of the World, in fact, was the third album that I put out with Cypher Productions. And yeah, the time was around 2006, and that's when I was traveling a lot of places like Toronto, like Taiwan, and just making sense of this music. And the inspiration came from all of that. You know what I mean? It made for some dope music, some dope bars, you know? I just put it out. Everything that I was going through. The definition of the world, to me, was each and every single song. The titling of each and every single song on the album was the definition of the world to me at that particular time. You know? Word. It's available on iTunes and actually all platforms. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I'm still getting reviews about it, and people are still hitting me up and telling me that they love it. You know? And I appreciate cats like you, man, DJ Immortal, man, word life. You're one of the few people that actually dig in the crates, that actually look for their music, you know, rather than being stuck on what's given. You know what I'm saying? Word. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, brother. And I gotta ask, man, I know the record's like fairly older. It's 2006, but me personally, man, I gotta know this, man. Do you have any hard copies still available of that record? Because I know sometimes people, they order boxes of them, and sometimes they don't get them all sold. But if you do have any like hard copies available, man, how can our listeners go about getting themselves some classic Saga 1 records?
Oh, most definitely. You could actually, it's on cdbaby.com. You can go on cdbaby.com and you can get yourself a hard copy. You, DJ Immortal, you got one coming straight to you right after the show. Just, link me up with your address, and that'll come straight to you for free.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for that.
Anybody else, you know, you can go on iTunes and get yourself a digital copy, or you can go on CD Baby and get yourself a hard copy also. I don't know that anybody plays CDs anymore. You know what I mean? I was just listening to a cassette tape the other day. Some cats called Souls of Mischief out here in Cali. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know that anybody plays CDs anymore. I don't, yeah. So kind of tricky, but it is what it is.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, me personally, I love CDs and I love cassettes. To me, in my personal opinion, you can't hold a digital copy. You can hold your phone, but nothing's better than picking up the CD, being able to read the booklet while you're vibing to the music. You also get a little more feel for the artist as well, man. You get to read all their thank you notes, who really produced it, right down to who created the cover, man. So you don't really get that with a digital copy.
Yes, sir. This is the way that you could actually truly, appreciate the art, and what the artist is actually giving you, looking at the pictures and everything like that. I miss that. I really do. Just looking at the leaflet of Nas's album the other day and seeing the inlet of the cover, seeing pictures that he took. It's so dope. I miss that part of music. Hopefully, it comes back in a different form. Maybe, a higher form. It'll change in some way. Yeah. This change is good, right?
I'm going to be honest, though. Like, I'm going to be honest. People like change. I for some reason, I hate change, man. I don't even know why. I just don't like change. I like stuff staying the same, but I realize, unfortunately, we're human and we all can't get what we want. So sometimes you have to adapt to the change. But when it comes to digital copies, man, I still have my foot down and I'm refusing to adapt to that.
I'm not mad at you. I agree, in some way. I can see some ways that I could disagree too. But at at the end of the day, to each his own, right? You know, as long as you listen to the music and you getting the vibe, that's the I think that's the most important part. You know what I mean? As long as it's taking you to a place where you can actually feel comfortable, zone out, relax, whatever you're going through. You know, if you could relate, you could relate. What?
And also, I noticed as well that the majority of your music videos is actually produced by an individual by the name of Sam Lachelle, man. I was wondering, how did yourself and Sam actually get connected, man? And of course, what is it like working with him?
I kind of linked up with Sam the same way I hooked up with you. People listen to the music and they love it and they want to work. Sam Lachelle is from Portland, Oregon, and he came out to New York City and shot the video for me. And yeah, the rest is history. And ever since then, it's been kind of doing what it does. You know what I'm saying? Shooting some videos right now. In the works. Like I told you, I'm working with a young sister by the name of Kyla Briscoe. Also, you know, there's some cats out here that I you know, kind of met and working through. Also, shout out to the brother Chief Gritty. Shout out to my homeboy Chief General also. But yeah, he's working.
And also, man, another project of yours that I really am fond of, man, is actually it's actually titled Shiloh. I was wondering, man, what's the story and inspiration behind Shiloh? And of course, again, where can our listeners actually snag themselves some copies?
Shiloh that was my first record. Shiloh came out in 2000. The story behind it, Shiloh is the name of my son. He passed away. I decided to name an album after him. There was a title track on the name of it by the name of Room to Breathe. That's my favorite track on the album, actually. And yeah, the song was about him. I actually started rhyming and singing around that time, 2000. Yeah, and it's been like that ever since. So the story behind Shiloh was everything I was going through at that particular time. I just put it on record, you know, put it in a collective. And at the end of everything, I got together with Cyclones Productions, that group. And my brother Franklin made a movie called In a World by Myself. And he wanted that song, Room to Breathe, as part of the soundtrack, and he put it on his soundtrack for that movie. And it was history. We just started creating an album right after that song, you know. And every song that I recorded or that I wrote was just about the things that I had already gone through or probably heard about. You know, something that I could relate to, and I felt like the rest of the world can probably relate also. We put it out. Yeah, Cyclones Productions. Shout out to everybody from Cyclones Productions, man. One love. Mike Spikes. Word up.
And I want to say as well, my sincere condolences to you, man. You know what I mean? I want to say my sincere condolences, man. Like, that must not have been very easy to go through, man, but you know, my thoughts are with you, even though it's been years ago, man. My thoughts are with you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But you know what, though? It makes for some real good music, you know? Because we as artists, that's what we do. We wear our hearts on our sleeves, right? So we put some music out there, and or whatever art that we do, you know? And we don't ask for anything back. We just put it out there. Wear our hearts on our sleeves. Put it out there for the world to see. Hopefully they love it. Yeah.
But I have to ask you, Saga, like, what is next for you? I know you said you're working with a new female artist, which is Badass's sister. You know what I mean? But what else is next for you? Is there anything I missed during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about and promote while we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
You pretty much touched everything. I'm definitely working on a new album for myself. That's called All I See, The Revolution Is Coming. And, yeah, basically it. I'm just working with MCs out here and anybody who wants to work. Yeah, most definitely. And just keeping the music going and keeping the culture running. You know what I'm saying? Word up. Yeah.
And also, Saga, this is a time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the radio station, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, and of course your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Saga 1 if they're not already doing so.
Word. Yo, you can follow me everywhere. I'm on everything, on every single platform. You name it, I'm on there. SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. Word up. Shout out to my homeboy Red Rum. Shout out the sister Kyla Briscoe. Shout out DJ Tito. Shout out T Gritty. One World Magazine. My brother AC Reno. My brother Bless. Shout out to Thomas. And anybody who's everybody or everybody who's anybody. Shout out to Ronso. Shout out to anybody who's listening to Outlaw Radio or Life. Shout out to you, DJ Immortal. You know what I'm saying? They're looking out for the love, you know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say, Saga, thank you so much again, man, for taking the time out of your busy evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM, man. It was an honor and most definitely a privilege. And I'm very much looking forward to your new album when it drops to the general public.
Yes, sir. Look out for RIC. The revolution is coming. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, most definitely. You know what I mean? Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going down.
Yeah, man. One love. Suck my feet. I'm going in.
Most definitely, Saga 1. Thank you so much again, brother. Have yourself a wonderful night.
Yeah, man.